Covino and Rich went live on a Wednesday, which
wait. You didn't hear the homie?
What happened?
The homie, he's trying to come on in.
Baseline's ready? I don't know. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not.
I heard him knocking. He's trying to come on in.
All right, let's go. Baseline Trey, get the show started, man. Here we go, everybody. The after show, but later. It's the only unofficial Covino and Rich after show. It's your boys D and El Kukui.
You know why?
What's up? Why?
Because we're the only ones.
Because we're the only ones, of course. Doug, I don't know if that's a little ass can of beer you're drinking or if your hand got really big.
You know what they say?
What?
It's big hands, big glands.
That's just a normal can?
Yeah, it's a Bush.
Okay.
Look, I'm like Shaq. I got Shaq hands and shit. Look at these big old fucking monsters.
But let me see. What do we have on the what's on the lineup today? Covino and Rich did a live Wednesday show, Wednesday night live. It was only about what? An hour maybe, as opposed to their 2.5 hour show. They hopped on. They were going to hang with listeners, and thank God you and I didn't drive to Phoenix because we had talked about it because they were going to kick it with listeners on. They said maybe Wednesday night, and so
bro, I almost made doggy reservations for fucking Mr. Chapo Jenkins.
So we were talking about it, and I was like, man, I was like, there's some shit that I can't miss at work. And then you're like, you were saying how many hours it is from you, and you're like, damn, it's a little further than I thought. So we were like, all right, it. You know what? It's not the time. We'll just figure it out. And then, I don't hear nothing Wednesday, and then they hop on Wednesday night, and I was like, oh, I would have drove my happy ass up there, and they wouldn't even have been fucking chilling because it's cool that they tried, but they did. They said they had a busy ass day, so. They were
for sure.
They were gonna try later in the week. I don't remember if they were able to or not, but yeah, man,
would have been the after show, but later, bro. That would have been a crazy.
We would have done the after show, but later in the fucking car,
in the parking lot of Walmart.
Doug, I have something real quick. This is not Covino and Rich.
You know what I would have did though?
What's up?
I would have had some Cali weed, and I would have went and knocked on the door of some motorhome that staying there for good.
Yeah,
and asking if we could use their dining room table for our shit.
We would have been the after show, but motorhome.
After show, but moto, bro.
After show, but moto. Yeah, it would have been like a bootleg Steve-O version because he does his shit from like one of the Sprinter bands.
No Bam Margera.
Damn. What was I gonna tell you? Let me see. So, Vontae Davis. Did you see this fool?
Sure did.
Sleeping on the
thing after he
freeway, Doug.
Damn near killed himself and somebody else and shit. He just took a nap right after.
And then he was like, "Hey, you guys clean all this shit up, Doug." There was literally like a highway patrolman scooping the shit like right after, and Vontae Davis over there just as comfortable as can be.
It's like the hypnotist and shit. He gets out of the car and someone just went sleep, and he was done.
Doug, the only time I've been there's 2 times that I've been that tired, and it's when one time when I was in the hospital and I was passing out, and the other time I had just got into a car accident and I was passing out. And
bro,
the thing, it was fucking funny because I remember still when I got into the car accident, I was like falling out. And I remember the like paramedics and shit were like, Daniel, stay with us. And I was like, damn, fool, kick back. I'm just tired, And it was funny because I remember like closing my eyes, like,
oh, fucking Vato.
Like,
he doesn't know if he's going to make it or not. Damn, fool, just kick back. I just want to get some shut eyes.
Well, it's funny because I remember, like, I swear to God, I remember like clear as day.
You're disturbing my peace.
I was like, I think my body was going into shock because my leg was broken and there was shit, but
yeah, you're all man.
But I was like this. I remember clear as day because I remember the dream I had when I started to pass out immediately. And I was like, I started to pass out, and I remember that like, stay with us, and I was like, come on, fool, just let me crash for like 3 minutes, I'll be good, And when I see Vontae Davis on the side of the freeway, Doug just crashed out while people are all flying by him. And
bro,
shit.
He crashed and he crashed out.
He crashed out. So I saw that shit. I was like, damn, this fool
he crashed out, all right.
But he had his matching corduroy little outfit. Did you see that shit?
Yeah,
look at like
his little green thing.
Yeah, it looked like it was like baby diarrhea shit green.
He looked like he bought that shit at the bunk vendor at the Sloss and Swap meet in LA.
But then, you know what's funny though? This dude must have got some good ass sleep, because then 5 minutes later they show his mugshot and he's wide awake, smiling in his mugshot. And I was like, this dude was crashed out on the side of the road, almost killed like 50 people.
Or what?
Yeah, he was. But that was like the first shit I had on here where I was like, for real? Jerry the King Lawler. Yeah. You remember Jerry the King Lawler? Dude had a stroke.
He did. He stroked out, bro. He stroked.
Yeah, giving a thumbs up to everybody, saying he's okay.
I seen that.
Yeah. But one thing that Covino and Rich were talking about, and if I'm not mistaken, you're an only child, right?
I'm the child that's the only child.
All right. They said they got it right the first time. They weren't going to go back.
No, I think my mom miscarried the second one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so.
All right, well, okay. I was going to make a joke, but, okay. There would have been a little cuckoo. Cuckoo would have been a big brother, but.
He died, though.
But, damn, all hard. Okay.
I mean, it's fucked up, but, I lived a good life, so, I mean, it was the way it was supposed to work. It was God's plan.
It was God. Yeah, I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine recently
about God's plan.
Kind of, because she was telling me that she just got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
And she was telling me, she's like, if you hear me joking about it and shit, she's like, that's just my way to kind of cope with shit too, and I was telling her, usually if there's something like hella tragic or something crazy, like you said, right, it's like you joke about it because there's the shitty part, that everybody already knows. There's already like a sad part about it there. So like, if you make a joke about it, it's just kind of your way to like, well, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? And so, it's cool that you say that, because I was about to, but I'm like, wait, it ain't my shit to joke about,
though, like, I didn't even know about that shit till I was like, teenager. And, I'm still friends with Bo. Met him in, 7th grade when I was 12. I'm still friends with Tippy. Met Tip Dog when, I was 11. I'm still friends with Mito. Met Mito in the 3rd grade. I'm still friends with Goldie. Met Goldie, when I was 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
Still friends with Brendan. And I'm still friends with Mario, Mars 1.
Wait, you have a friend named Brendan?
Yeah, Brendan.
Yeah. Does he have a nickname? Because every one of your friends I've ever heard of, they all have
B Riles.
Oh, okay. I knew his name.
That's B Riles.
I knew his name wasn't Brendan, because I was like, everybody, like Doug, like when I first met,
you have to though, right? Isn't everyone from the ghetto have at least 3 or 4 different nicknames?
No, it's funny because I remember my girl telling me, there was like, when I first met her, I didn't know one person that she knew that had an actual name. So,
well, tell me this. Think about. I'm gonna give you a deep thought.
What's up?
How many people do you see, or you come to meet in life, you encounter, that you become tight with, where you have the opportunity to spend some time with them and their family? How many of those people don't have a nickname from the family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel
right. Your sister and brother probably call you something totally different than me.
Yeah,
and your mom might even have her own little nickname for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So everybody has 3 or 4. Like, and I realized that one day. I don't know if you remember Spice One, the rapper, but I was kicking it with him. And if you listen to his music, he's always talking about Fetty Chico, Shiznilti, Bossolini, and like he's naming all these nicknames that he has. And what was crazy is one day I was kicking it with him, and I was there for a few hours. I was kicking it in his garage in Hayward. JD, his step pops, was there, and his mom and his sister, and a couple other cats came through, whatever. So I was there for a minute, and different people called him different shit. Like Bossolini, Fettuccico, Shiznilti, Chico, like his family calls him Chico, right?
Fettuccico, dog. That sounds like some Italian dish.
Fettuccico Soprano. I mean, like, so his family, like his mom, his step pops, his sister, they call him Chico.
Yeah.
A couple of the cats that came over were calling him Spice, right? And then a couple of other cats that came over were calling him something different. And it was crazy because, and I don't want to bullshit you and make something up and tell you they called him, I don't remember, but I just remember there was like 3 different nicknames that I had heard, all in like kicking it with him with like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because we were in the garage. So people were coming and going and kicking it. We were smoking and whatnot. And, but point being is like, everyone has different nicknames, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, well, I even told you a few episodes ago about Chevy Boy. There was, I mean, or I had even mentioned that episode how George Lopez talks about. Oh, you know what? Actually,
well, real quick. Let me use Goldie as an example. Goldie with us and the people I kick it with that we all know each other. Again, Columbo, Tip Dog, Mito, and me. Goldie has two nicknames. Goldie's nickname was given to him by Huey because he had this blonde ass hair
Lewis?
when he was a youngster. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Cooks.
Okay.
Shout out Hugh Double, H Double. But no, Huey was the old school homie, always looking out for me when I was little. And anyways, he took Goldie under his wing too. And he goes, "You look like Goldie." And so this motherfucker's like 12 years old in the neighborhood. Everyone calling him Goldie, right? And he's making moves, doing this thing, whatnot. And but then he also got the name Young Buck because when he really started kicking with us tough or whatnot, he was a couple of years younger than us. So we called him Buck, Young Buck. And that was his name. It was Young Buck. But it's also Goldie. And you know what? His real name, I'm not going to give up his government name here on the show, but none of us ever call him that. I have never been around any of the people I just mentioned, Brendan, Columbo, Mito, Tip Dog, or myself, and we call him by his real name. I've heard his lady call him that, and I heard his mama calling him that. Other than that, ain't nobody called him by that. So everybody got different names, no?
Doug, what's funny is that it's funny how nicknames, like, I feel like when you grow up, like, I don't even want to say hood, but maybe less fortunate. It's funny how your nickname don't even have to be like, hey, this is Richard, but we call him Dick or we call him Rich. It could be it could be a situation, right? And I know I've told part of the story before, but I don't think I told the second half. Well, there was a chick who in kindergarten, she shit her pants, right? And so
it's like Moki picking his boogers in second grade.
So this is Doug. So she became Maria, the girl that shit her pants, right?
Okay.
So,
or how about shampoo bottle? I think I told that one too.
So Doug, Maria, the girl that shit her pants, we were talking about nicknames, me and my cousins, like maybe 2 weeks ago.
It's a shit name.
So we were talking about nicknames and shit, and it was like everybody knew Maria that shit her pants. And while my brother's fiance was there, and me and my brother's fiance, we've known each other since grade school, right? So I was like, Maria.
Really?
Yeah.
Is she your age?
Yeah, she's my age. We went to school together.
Oh, he went younger then. Good for him.
Yeah. So good
for him.
I mentioned Maria.
Give him a high five and maybe a low five, or she can give him the low five.
I mentioned Maria, the girl that shit her pants. Later, her brother died. So she went from Maria, the girl that shit her pants, to Maria, whose brother died.
That's not. That's kind of tough.
Well, that was
a shift. That's a shift.
That was how you described her, right? And so, as I'm telling,
I guess is that how'd you describe her?
Yeah, either one.
That's it.
Either Maria that shit her pants, or Maria whose brother died. Oh yeah.
So after the brother died, let me ask you. I got a quick question. I got to intervene.
Yeah.
After the brother died, did you ever again call her Maria who shit her pants?
Probably not. But when I was telling the story, to my cousins like 2 weeks ago, my brother's girl goes, "Oh," and then she says her government name, and I'm like, "Oh, you remember her too?" So it was just something that everybody knew her as, So it was just the girl that shit her pants, or the girl that her brother died, and it's just crazy how that shit does stick with you, and it could be a nickname, it could be a as far as like an attribute or something, or it could be a situation.
Well, no Mike Sorrentino, but wash your butt has never been more appropriate than after you just told that story.
For Spotty.
For sure. So that's
hold
a
on, hold on, hold on.
Vato nuts. All right. Oh shit. Okay.
No. All right, let me see. Did he say who you giving Vato nuts to?
Yeah, bro. You're all, hey, you go like this, look at you go.
Well, that's the universal Vato sign language. That's, hey, what's up? I'm recording. What do you need? Right?
Yeah, what's cracking?
What's the hey, I'm busy.
No,
what's up?
You gave the nod that's like, hey, I got some shit going on right now. What's up?
And it's funny because, Doug, even going back to think about it, like when you're in high school, right? And you're sitting in your class And your homie walks by and he looks at that little rectangular window that's in your door.
Yes.
And he's like, and then so you look at him, you're like, he's basically saying, "Hey, fool, I'm out here. Come outside." And then you're like, "Hey, I can't right now. I'm in a test, you know?" And all you guys doing, this is your guys' conversation. He looks at you, gives you the eyebrows, throws his chin up. Then you're like, "Hey, fool, doing this shit." But all you do is you're talking to him with your eyes, and then back and forth. And he's like, he'll maybe throws a shoulder in there, like, "Hey, come out here," you know, but just like a shoulder. And then you're like, "All right, hey,
he's getting, no, you can communicate through bro. You can communicate through head through vato nod. You're just not just going up and down. That's when you start going left, right.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man.
Yeah, come out. Hey, really? So I don't know if I've told this story on the show, but I got to do my Showly mention of the homie Luis. But
real quick, Luis. Hey, do you say, spinning off something they said? I'm gonna tie it in real quick before we switch gears. Yeah. Do you say nice to meet you, good to see you, or do you vato nod? Because they were saying if you say nice to meet you and you've met him before, it's fucking, you know, you look like a bobo. But if you say good to see you, it's kind of a safe zone. But then there's also the vato nod.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man.
I don't know, Doug. I really don't give a fuck. If I say nice to meet you and they're like, I met you before, I'll be like, oh, cool. You know what, though? What's funny to do, though, is
you just shake it off like that or what?
It's funny if you know that they're like, maybe, you know, somebody that has like an ego, or and you've met them before, and then you'd be like, "Oh, it was cool meeting you," and then they're like, "Oh no, we met before." You're like, "Really? I don't remember." That's a G move to do. So, but no, I remember, Doug. I was telling you when I was in high school.
What if you tell them the last time you met them, they looked disheveled?
Like, oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't look like you were having a good time last time, man. I'm glad you're in a better place.
Oh, I didn't recognize you because last time you were like felt like, what were you, keto last time? And that's another way. That's another way. But
now you're just chubby.
Doug, I remember my senior year of high school. I got in one.
You're lucky to have one of those, bro. I regret not having one of those.
What, a senior year in high school?
Yeah, and a junior.
I got banned from using the restroom because I used to just, like you were talking about the vato nods in the hallway. I used to, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, whatever. And then I would just go down the hall and call out all my homies from their class, the vato nods. And then next thing you know, we were all in the hallway just kicking it. So then my teacher told me I wasn't allowed to use the bathroom. So then this dumb bitch, you know what I did?
What?
Okay, cool. I can't use the bathroom. It's all good. So I tell her. So then like the next day, I'm like, oh, I can't use the bathroom. It's all good. Hey, can I go get a drink of water? She'd be like, all right. So then I pulled that shit for the next, like, however long, 6 months or whatever.
Well, for all you little Carlitos out there, I used to, when I worked at Food Max, there were some other that always used the restroom, and we were complaining like management didn't like it because he was always using the restroom and it was an excuse. Obviously, I can't say no names, so I won't. And I worked at all the Food Maxes, so you'll never know who it is. But with that being said, he went to the doctor, or she went to the doctor and got a note, bro. And then they had the right to go to the bathroom like every 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
So I remember management was pissed, but, you know, we're not doctors. We sell groceries. And who are we to challenge a doctor who went to medical school for 7 to 10 years?
Yeah.
And so homeboy had a free pass every 30 minutes. He can go take a leak. Well, basically, he got like a 5-minute break every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You want to learn to play the system, just go tell them you got to piss your pants and you get. Yeah, and think about it. Like, if there's 40 hours in a work week, bro, and you get an extra, 5 minutes, say 5 breaks.
Yeah. Every hour you get a 5-minute break.
Well, if you get
that's an extra 40 minutes.
Well, think if you got 6 breaks realistically in a shift.
Yeah.
There's 30 minutes, right? And you work 5 shifts. So that's 2.5 hours. So if you went and got that damn note, you could get away with working 37.5 hours and getting paid for 40.
Oh, man.
And that's a good way to get on your phone. Like, because if you do that, they're going to be on your ass.
Yeah.
Just use the phone while you're using the restroom.
Hey, you know what?
And you can check your shit 6 times a day.
You know what people started doing? Because right here, we're 10 minutes from the border one way and like 35, 40 minutes from the border another way, right?
Right.
So what people started doing was just going to Mexico, and you just throw the doctor $10, right? Or whatever. And,
for sure.
And just whatever the needed. Hey, you need to have whatever a growth in your neck. write that shit down. Give him an extra $5. He'll say that growth can't be removed. Well, there was workplaces and even schools that were like, hey, if you're gonna get a doctor's note, it can't be from Mexico. So, which is kind of it's for the people that really did go to Mexico and that was their medical care, right? Because it would be like little Johnny White Boy over here coming to school with from Dr. Lopez, right? That said he fucking had the shits, knowing that this goes to fucking urgent care on 4th Street or whatever,
Right.
And so they were trying to prevent that kind of shit, but then it was for the little Mexicans where that was their only form of fucking medical care. But
shouldn't they get free state benefits?
Not if your family's illegal and shit, Doug. I mean, there's a lot of shit,
That's isn't that the number one requirement?
What?
Don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
okay,
I
went to school with kids that were illegal, so there was like not the families, the kids. Like,
they're just not supposed to be here at all. So they can't get shit.
So, because I remember, there was a kid that I went to school with, and shortly after we graduated, the fool got deported and shit.
So, there's a cat. We went the same shit. He's in TJ still. He's been there for like 12 years.
Yeah. So shout out to Shorty. And there's fucking another nickname. So that people remember Shorty. But yeah. So anyway,
see, my homie who was Shorty, he was about 3'6", probably peaked about 125.
Yeah.
And he could kill a 36 pack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And one time I just remember I went to a party. And the OG gangsters, he pissed them off. He did some shit and he pissed them off. And I remember there was in the garage, right? There was a refrigerator all by itself, just against the wall, all by itself, nothing around. And I don't know what Shorty did and shit, but I went in the garage. Boy, he was on the refrigerator, couldn't get down. They said he was in timeout.
Fucking Shorty, dog. Doing some crazy shit. Oh, man. I remember my friend Compton. He was quiet as.
First name Bill?
His name was actually Isaac, and I remember this dude. He was quiet as always quiet. And I remember one time we had gone to this abandoned house. Well, it wasn't an abandoned house. The house was abandoned, but we knew the owners that weren't there. And so we're chilling. This fool just keeps drinking and drinking and drinking, and little by little, he just starts fucking finding problems with like everything that's going on. And he's like, hey, what did he say? And I'm like, what? What did who say? He started getting fucked up. And then so he's like, I'm going to fuck him up. And we were like, huh?
Who?
Exactly, dog. And so I remember it was the funniest shit because we were like, this dude is quiet as chill, but something about him looked crazy. And then when we seen that fool start drinking and he was just in there and seeing people or maybe people that were there that weren't even saying shit. He thought they were talking shit about him. And I was like, oh, this motherfucker is going to do some shit. But
he just got on one real quick.
Yeah, he did real quick. But
hey, real quick, I wanted to ask you something too.
What's up?
Rich was saying that Groundhog's Day is old white people shit.
Mm.
And I kind of wanted to say that I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because if it was hood shit, it would be the cockroach or it would be like the rat, right? It wouldn't be no groundhog.
Doug, well, you want to hear some hood shit? So my daughter told me the other day, she was like, Daddy, is it Warhawks Day? And I go,
Warhawks?
I go, Warhogs? I go,
yeah.
I go, what? I go, Groundhog's Day? She's yeah, that thing. I was like, where the did you hear?
Thing.
Where did you hear Warhawk?
Shout out Kennedy.
Yes. She did some good shit, Doug. But no, I agree 100%. I think that's some old white people shit. 100%, Doug. You don't. And yeah, I don't know.
I never heard no one in the hood saying, hey, the groundhog shot a shadow today, Holmes.
I know. No shit, huh? Hey, we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter. Shut the fuck
6 more weeks of pinche winter.
No. Let me see.
It doesn't rock like that. It just doesn't rock like that.
Oh, you know what?
And the brothers don't rock like that neither. Yo, man.
Yeah.
6 more weeks of winter. It's just not the way it goes down.
Better get my good coat. Yeah. Doug, so
far away.
Cavino and Rich are in Phoenix right now. They're there for the Super Bowl.
Phoenix of the Sun.
And You know what? Actually, today is actually Saturday, so tomorrow is the Super Bowl, right?
It's fucking Saturday.
So let me see. UFC 280, whatever the it is tonight. So if you're watching this, you're not watching that. So good for you.
What about the Ultimate Fighter?
Oh, with
and fucking McGreg's
Connor and who's the other one?
Fucking con artist because he sucks. He fooled everybody.
Fucking, let me see.
That's his name, bro. I'm calling it right now. From here on out, to me, he's known as the con artist because he ain't shit. He got everyone thinking he's shit. They're gonna pay to see his shit fights, and that's what they're gonna be. They're gonna be shit, and he's gonna lose.
I think dude still up some people though, but
con artist.
I think so.
Really?
I think so, Doug. I think.
What episode are we on? Let's remember this episode.
167.
Drop a pin on the map.
167. I'm not saying he has a whole lot of fights left, but the last couple, I mean, he still did some shit. I mean,
going forward, mark my words, he will be sub 500 in the win column.
All right, sub 500. All right.
If he fights 10 more fights, he's going to be 4-6 or 5-5 at best.
I don't know if he'll even have 10 more fights.
Okay, if he has 6 more fights, he'll be 2-4, 3-3 at best.
But what if he has 2 more fights?
1-1. He wins 1, he loses 1, he might lose them both.
But you said sub 50%, sub 500.
Well, that's why and I think he'll lose them both. He's a scumbag.
But you know, what's funny is that Covino and Rich are in Phoenix, and they were at the Phoenix Convention Center, and remember Tim that we had on the show with his Boost Mobile or whatever the he kept dropping his calls?
Where he kept cutting out, and yeah.
Well, dude gave him a fucking ride from the Phoenix Convention Center to their pad or whatever.
Well, good for him.
And
I hope they didn't break down because he couldn't have called for help.
And while he was playing "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way" in his little he had like a little, you know, where they have like a bicycle, but they have like seats on the back so he could give people rides and shit, and people could tip him.
That's what he's driving.
That's what he was doing. So he picked up Covino.
Was it a Spider?
They said it was an electric bike, but it looked like a bicycle to me.
He gave Covino Rich rides on an electric bike?
Yeah, and they were sitting on like the little seats in the back. Well,
did it generate a good cell phone signal?
I don't fucking know. But my point is, he was playing "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way."
What's your point?
And then some dude, Covino was singing, "Move, Rich, your head's in the way." You know, mm-hmm. Oh no, lights out. Rich's head knocked the bulb out or whatever, right? And somebody commented on it, and they were like, "Oh, that version that Covino was singing was funny, or that version that Covino made up, or some shit." And I was like, "Doug, there's people this far into Covino and Rich that don't know about Tickle Sack."
I know.
That's what kind of fucking blew me away, because they made it. The person that commented on it made it like Covino is just freestyling right there, throwing. Oh and no,
they never heard the jam.
Yeah, and I was like, you could get their full length albums, Doug. They got albums of this shit,
bro. Feliz Navidad is a classic.
Yeah,
and Caboose.
I remember I had a friend named Kiani. She was from Hawaii, and I was like, "Hey, what song are they singing? What's the real one?" And she was like, "Which one?" I was like, "Well, their version is Me Like You Lick My Caca," and she was like, "Oh," Malika Laka Laka, or whatever it's called. And
shit.
And I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "All right, that one." But anyway, Doug, a whole lot of Covino.
You know what? Hold on, wait, real quick. Give me a second.
Let me hear. Oh no!
Every man's got a
goal. Shout out Tickle Sack.
And it's to fill that hole.
Fill that hole.
Not that.
That's their mission.
Well, I thought I might stray, 'cause I've been tapping it the same way forever. Between her butt cheeks.
There we go.
I've been praying all day.
Been praying.
That this would make our love better.
Mm-hmm.
It don't make me gay.
It don't.
Bust out my demons inside.
Oh yeah, did that last night.
Wanna conquer that home. Oh, we might be done.
Yeah.
Between your two buns.
Did that.
My wiener will hide.
Been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put it in your caboose.
I want to.
Hey, that'll be our TikTok, dog. We're hype men for songs.
I don't wear rubbers.
My penis
lingers. Your booty hovers.
I'm about to stick it in your caboose.
Bro, if that doesn't make you all fucking lovey-dovey, I don't know what does.
I know it's your ass, girl.
You know what? And with that being said,
relax, Rich. On that part is so funny.
Yeah, you relax. Look, that's perverted Rich. Right,
relax. It's gonna happen. That's what he kind of sounded like. Oh man! But if you need any of the Covino and Rich songs, go to CovinoRich.com/entertainment or some shit, and then
I do what I just did. Google Tickle Sack Caboose. It'll come right up.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Tim gave them a ride. Let me see. Somebody loved Covino's Move Bitch Get Out the Way. Tickle Sack. Rich. I don't know if you've been following along with their Super Bowl Phoenix week of shows and social media, but Rich,
to the best of my ability, I have.
Rich has been talking about he has a sensitive tummy.
He's got the shit.
Rich was saying on their Wednesday night show how he has a very sensitive stomach and he feels like he's been eating too much and he needs to be reset. And it was funny because Spot and Covino just kept calling Rich a bitch. They were like what? Like, you're being such a because like the day before he was saying that his wrist hurt and he was like, oh, he was like, my wrist hurts and I'm gonna have to be shaking a lot of hands. And they thought that was the funniest shit ever.
Funny.
And what they blamed it on is, I don't know if you remember this, but Rich brought the world's biggest suitcase. Yeah.
Maleta.
Had to take shit out of it because he was 10 pounds over the limit, or else this fool was going to have to check another bag.
So I got a question based on that.
What's up?
Why not just bring like 2 medium-sized ones? Because you could like tow one with each arm, and it seems like it's a hell of a lot easier than one you got to start switching luggage and this, that, and the other. It don't make no damn sense.
It was so funny, the stupid ass jokes they kept making. They were like, did you hide Ben in there? Like, that shit was so big. And it was funny because they showed a picture with Danny G's luggage and Spot's luggage. Rich's luggage was like the size of both of theirs together.
No, it was. And the thing is like, even when I go to Hawaii or I go somewhere for 5 days, I got a mean ass suitcase. My shit's dope. Now I got this shout out Samsonite. I got this hard shell Samsonite. I bought this thing in like 2015 and I done put that thing through war. I mean, that's my go-to. I replaced a couple of the latches a couple of times with the keys, but that motherfucker, that's the shit. Anyways, with that being said, it's kind of heavy. It's a hard shell. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I ever cracked like 44 pounds at the most. Usually I'm at like 39, 40 pounds.
And the funny part is, Doug, I'm glad you brought that up, because the funny part is Covino said he brought 4 pair of shoes. He brought 3 pair of shoes, a pair of boots, and a pair of flip-flops, because after this trip, Covino is going straight from Phoenix to Hawaii. So Covino packed for Phoenix and Hawaii, and his bag was still less than Rich's.
Bro, when I go, I'll take backpacks and snorkel gear and fucking water shoes. I mean, you see me, I got
snorkel. What the are you, Scuba Steve? You take your snorkel with you?
Bro, do you want to waste the time going to the shop, paying the money, and having to take the motherfucker back? That's an extra hour you could have been in the water.
That's why you're the world traveler and I'm not.
You know what? If you're gonna go to the motherfucker to the shit, and you know that a couple times a year that you're gonna snorkel, it's cheap as fuck. If you're gonna just go a couple of times, rent the shit. It's like $6-7 a day in Hawaii. Not a big deal. Snorkel bobs are on all the islands, right? It don't matter what island you're on, there's a snorkel bob.
I've never been snorkeling.
Well, bro, treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. You got to do it. Like, I don't know about you, but I take this finest plant that God made and I go over there and I consume a little bit and I kind of brighten my horizons and my outlook. And I hop in there and I check out sea turtles and fish and fuck it, man. I mean, that's relaxing.
I would drown, Doug. I'm already not a strong
you
swimmer.
Float, bro. If you snorkel, you float. You float.
Yeah, no, I'd be fine snorkeling, but you're talking about smoking and drinking and no, Doug.
Bro, I don't drink and do it. That. I don't want to drown. Hell no, I don't drink and do that shit. But I'll chief and go out there and just look at everything and just kind of be like, I mean, it's kind of like you take a step back. And for me, what it is for me is, especially if I chief and I'm going out there and I'm snorkeling and you're floating around, you're just kind of looking at everything go on. You know, the fish do what they want. The turtles do what they want. If you see crabs, they do what they want. You're just chilling. You're just kind of you're just taking a
crabs
do
what they want until you shave them off.
Well, I guess.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You shouldn't have had hair there to begin with. That's your fault. But you know, for me, what I do. So yes, I take it because I go and chill out and just kind of relax and just unwind. That's how I kind of reconnect. But I take fucking snorkel gear. I take shoes. I take multiple pairs of shoes, multiple hats, swim trunks. I take all that shit, and my shit don't ever crack like 40 pounds. And a backpack. I'll take backpacks because you don't want to be out there and not be able to take all your shit with you if you're going to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I need to go to the beach, Doug. I haven't been to the beach in a minute.
We should go record, bro. You probably get a trip out of Hawaii. I mean, out of Phoenix. If you planned it right, $350 round trip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We got to do something. But
soon we will soon.
Let me see. So Nicole from Hits One got into a bad accident.
I seen that, dude.
Doug, what did you
Prayers
think
to her?
What did you think about somebody who had? I think it might have been somebody from like the Hits One team or some shit, or I forget who it was, but there was somebody that made a comment. Did you see about them saying Nicole bruised her ego or some shit?
Yeah, I heard it.
What the was that about?
I don't. I mean,
the only thing I can think of is if somebody thought maybe she got into like a fender bender and they were like, "Oh,
it was her fault.
She was being dramatic or something," or something.
But even if it was her fault, you know how insensitive that shit is to say when she's still laying in the hospital.
Well, that's the thing is that I'm like, did they know she was in the hospital? Dude. Did they? I mean, because that was like the most like, what do you call it? The most like
insensitive shit you could have ever said.
Yeah, I can't think of the right word.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. No, it was just I seen that shit and I was like, what the was that about? And I heard even Covino Rich talking about it, and even they were kind of like, the is that about? Like,
I'll kick someone's ass later when I got better. That.
Yeah. Or her man, dog, is gonna somebody up.
He better.
Yeah.
No, I got a couple things.
Let's hear.
Rich said he couldn't spend $100 on a t-shirt, and unless and then Covino said unless it's like the Grammys or something special.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Are you buying Gucci t-shirts for $99 or what?
Fuck no, dog. Look, I wear the same shit every fucking day of my life. However, I did I thought about something the other day, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I should like invest in some like dope ass clothes for work, because I was like,
I
was thinking about it, and I was like, dog, I'm at work how many hours a week, right? I'm like,
I got the plug for you. I got the plug. Go to the Van Heusen outlets, and if you catch them at the right time, bro, you can get nice button-ups for like $8 each.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Van Heusen, and they're nice.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that because I wore some shoes the other day. And they were some brand new Jordans that my girl got me. And I go,
okay.
You know what? I was like, I want to.
That's nice.
I go, I want to take care of these things. You know, I'm like, so I made sure like not to crease them when I was walking. Right?
Did you buy shoe eraser from Dollar Tree?
No. But you know what I am gonna get? Some of that Scotch Guard you were talking about.
Yeah. Bro.
Yeah, I thought about that when I put them on, because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear these for like 2 hours maybe. And I was like,
scuff.
So I go, you know what? I go, what I'm gonna do? I go, I'm gonna make sure.
It's called Scuff Guard. It ain't even Scotch Guards, bro. It's like Scuff Guard.
I was thinking about it. I go, you know what? I'm not gonna walk through no dirt. I'm gonna find every concrete path I could take, And I had all.
I'm gonna get picos in my feet. I'm gonna get picos because if it's a picos out there, I'm gonna take them off and walk barefoot, and they just pull the little pokies out.
And so no, I go, you know what? I was like, I felt good. I was like, all right, cool. And then when I got home after I wore them for a couple of hours, just, made sure nothing was cool. I didn't even really have to wipe them down. I was looking at them, cool. And put them back away, right? It's for the next time I wear them. And I was like, you know what? It's like, I think I want to start investing in actually like some dope clothes and fucking actually start taking care of it as well. Not just buying it and fucking it up and then throwing it away and buying new shit,
Well, and you know what I used to do? I didn't really want to press my shit because before COVID, it was like $1.50 a shirt. But I could get like 2 wears out of a shirt as long as I wasn't sitting down or driving and like where I wrinkle it.
Yeah.
If I was actually working, I could get like 2 or 3 wears out of a shirt, as long as I didn't sweat or nothing like that. And so, it, dude, I would have like, I think I got 15 of those motherfuckers, and I'm gonna start wearing them here shortly again. But it was like $150 a shirt, dude. I would just get them pressed, and they were just crispy and clean. Take them straight from the dry cleaner to the closet.
Yeah.
And you feel good when you put on a fresh crispy and that thing got medium starch.
Yeah.
And it's just straight and clean. You feel good, man. You feel like, especially like people start to do, because I got hazel eyes, right? So my eye color will change.
Oh man, watch out.
No, it will. And so I started with like some light maroons and some like light purples, even, with some white and like would tie it in with maroon, and like that shit's dope, man. And it would bring out my eye color, would match the shirt. So, but you and it's crispy. You just feel good. You put a nice crispy on, and you just feel like $1 million.
I've done the same shit to match my eyes. What I've done is I've actually worn a shirt with one of those shit emojis. And then I just mob around and it brings out my eyes because they're the same fucking color. So you ain't the only one that can do that trick with your eyes and shit, dog, over here bragging and shit about Mr. Hazel eyes and shit.
I thought your eyes were the same color as a Swisher.
Yeah, I wore a Swisher. I wore a Swisher shirt too. Those are the 2 shirts I have: a shit emoji and a Swisher.
That's great.
Oh, you said you have a couple more things. What else you got, dog?
I do. Rich said the remodel question. If you had the money, would you remodel?
You know what? It depends how much money he has. Because look, say he's got like I don't know, 200 G's in the bank just chilling, right? And the remodel is going to take him 15. Do it. But if this dude's got 50 G's in the bank and it's going to cost him 40, he might want to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that really depends. The way Rich is saying, because he's talking about redoing the gal garage, right? Or the garage and turning it into a chick garage or studio or whatever. Right. If it's going to cost him more than like 20% or whatever he has chilling, I think maybe hold off on it. But that,
I totally agree. And mine's a little along those lines. I mean, it's my version, but I'm with you. And if I am going to do it, I'm not going to spend 50 to increase the value only by like 10.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do it, if the value is only going to get increased by 10, then I'm not necessarily going to buy the cheapest shit at Home Depot because I don't want it to necessarily break, but I will look for the best value with the shit. Whatever remodel shit I'm doing or whatnot, I'm going to look for 4.5, 4 or 5 star shit out of 5. I'm going to make sure all the shit works right, but I'm not going to buy fancy and excessive shit because the amount of money that I spend, I want it to be close as possible to the amount of the value it's going to increase my home. I don't want to spend $100. Say you got a $500,000 house, you spend $100, but it only really brings up your value like $515. That's stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If no matter what I do, it's only going to bring it up to $515, and I go over, I definitely don't want to spend over $525.
You know what, Doug? There's no doper feeling, because it's happened to me recently, than, like you said, the 4.5 stars, whatever, you're on Prime or whatever, you're on Amazon or whatever you're looking at, and you see something that has like 1,600 reviews, right? And it's 4.5 stars, and you're like, oh, cool, that shit's good. There's no better feeling, dog, than seeing that and being like, hey, that's a pretty, 1,600 reviews, 4.5 stars, cool, right? Mm-hmm. Recently that happened.
Buy.
That recently, actually, I almost hit buy. And then right after that, I saw something with like 30,000 views at 4.5 stars. And I was like, here we go. So but it's good. Like you're saying, we have the option now of Amazon now. We want it now. We want that shit. We don't want it 2 weeks. We don't want it 2 days.
You pay for Prime. You want that shit the next day.
But that's cool. You filter that bitch by Prime. You filter that bitch by 4.5 stars or higher.
Yeah.
There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. First couple of results is probably what you need.
Guapoline.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do.
100%.
So check it out. What about the likes for likes segment?
Yeah.
I think you absolutely should support people. I mean, I'm not saying you should like everything by any means, and I don't think you should do that. But I think Covino's right. For people that support you, you should support them back, especially on the easy ones. If it's something that you can easily agree with, there's no reason not to give them a like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously they're posting some like weirdo shit or like something. I wouldn't expect you to give me a like if it was like, if you insensitive or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if it's something, and you know what, if you're friends anyways, and you're not fake friends, you should have a lot in common anyway. So that should come natural.
Yeah, no, I feel you. However, for somebody to notice it and kind of be butthurt about it, I think is a little comical. Because
absolutely.
Because I'm thinking,
it's not even comical. That's weirdo. That's stalker shit.
Because I think the funny part is like, if it comes to personal shit and I'm putting like a picture of my kid or some shit for my Facebook or whatever, then I'm not gonna notice who likes it, who doesn't like it. I don't give But what I do notice is when I'm putting shit like for the show, and I'll put like an episode up on the Carl page, and I see people like it, and you always see a handful of the same people, and you're like, damn, that's cool. These people really do support it because these are people that are reaching out to us. These are people, so they are showing that they support you. I could see, because I know Covino said that he'll see shit too. But his personal Facebook, I think, is the old Covino and Rich Facebook. So a lot of listeners are on that shit. So I could see him getting a little butthurt, even though he wasn't the one that did the post. It was Bob Mostachi or some shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I could see if it's something like, say this was our fucking livelihood, right? And I was pushing shit out. Hey, go check out the after show on my personal Facebook and shit. Then I would like support from fucking people that I feel are friends and shit. But if it was just like a random, hey, a post like, I got a new job today, and then, oh, I can't believe Kakui didn't like it. Because Doc, they're like, just coming from me personally, when I'm on shit, there's a lot of times, Doc, I'll be on Instagram, and I'll look and I'll see some shit that you posted like 3 days ago, and it'll just pop up on my feed, and I'm like, oh, I'll give that bitch a like or whatever, or even if I look at like your Instagram story or something or whatever the it is, it's not always like, I'm not gonna purposely not give it a like or whatever, but if I'm seeing shit and I'm like, I think a lot of it too does have to do with your algorithm. So if, say, this person is posting shit, but it's not popping up on this person's timeline, it may pop up 4 days from now, and now they give it a like or whatever. I don't know. I think I can see support those who support you and all that shit, but you may not be popping up on their fucking timeline. That could be it too,
No, I agree, and I don't think you should like shit just to like it. But I think, again, well, my thing is if you're true friends with people, like you're true friends, like not, if you got 5,000 followers, I'm talking about the 50 that really got your back. I mean, again, I don't think they should be obligated at any means to post or like any of the shit you like. But I would have to think that with those 50 who are your true friends or family or whatnot, you motherfuckers got some shit in common.
Yeah.
So just like the shit where you connect with me.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I don't need you to like fake shit, but something I post you got to like. Just like the shit where we make that connection and we agree.
If you're a foodie, follow Kakui. This dude's always putting pictures of food and shit.
Foodie.
But yeah, speaking of which, I gotta give a couple of shout outs. My homie John, that I went to school with, call him John. He's a homie. Dude is always showing us support, and I appreciate that. There's another dude that's always showing us support on the Carl page, Sean Hall. Another dude named Jason Atrice, I think is how you say his name. And then
shout out everybody that supports us. We love you guys, all you guys, man.
And then
Thank you.
there's a Marsha Smith too, that has been showing love. So to everybody that has been showing love, I mean, we dig it, we appreciate it. But when it comes on a personal level, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That one's that's a tough one for me because I've never noticed if friends of mine have liked shit or not, you know? So that's where I'm like,
bro, you've never thrown out a photo of anything, anything, hoping that somebody will see your story or post and see it.
Not
ever.
Not as like no. I mean, not when I was single, yeah. Be like you do, okay, you hope some bitches or some shit or whatever, but
right, like let me ask you this. So that's the hard line, and that's the question. Say you meet a chick at the bar, at the club, at the game, at the library, at the dentist office, at the grocery store, whatever. You meet this girl somewhere and you guys exchange information, and she's like, well, get my snap. Right? You're like, okay, cool. Boom, you snap. You guys snap. You know, maybe the next day she snaps you, you snap her. You're like, hey, remember me? Yeah, whatever, right? You guys connect. You're telling me that immediately as a single dude, because you say you're not single now, but as a single dude, let's just say dudes are single, you're not posting things to like.
No, that's what I said.
Or at least if you post, right? Like you shouldn't like change your post status. Either you're someone that posts a couple times a day or you're not, right? Like I'm not saying because you meet someone, obviously try to be someone who you're not. Hopefully you're already on social media, you're out there, you got friends, you guys go back and forth, you follow each other, whoop-de-wop. But to think after you meet someone that you're interested in, maybe do you post something that tries to get their attention, and do you look at see if they're trying to be like, hey, I saw your shit.
Yeah, no, 100%. But right now it's just like I just think or I don't give a right now where I'm at in my life right now.
Of course.
You know, I don't give a if somebody's gonna, you know. What I do notice though is like if we post something, and then I'm looking through and I'm like, oh, you know, Covino saw this shit. That's cool. Or, you know, Tommy saw this shit. Or like I see Dawn, Covino's little sister. Dawn looks at every post we put up on
shout out.
Shout out to Dawn, right? And that's so awesome. It's cool. I'll notice shit like that where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like they don't have to. Like
nobody.
I had
we appreciate all that stuff. That's awesome.
I tweeted today. Covino and Rich, Soupy, the Wine Shank and Congdon.
Wine Shank.
I tweeted out them, hey,
Wine Shank, my shank.
Well, I tweeted out, hey, you know, go give them a follow or whatever.
Shank.
And
either that, Kukui wants to give you a shank.
And they liked it and retweeted it and all that shit. And it's like, oh, that's cool. They didn't have to do that shit. But that kind of shit, yeah, Doug, we get it.
Hopefully she gets it too.
But
call me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're cool, man. They're cool. They're bad. But it's I don't know. I think
cut that shit out either.
I'm not gonna cut anything out. But it's cool though. I think it's cool to see that. You know, I'll notice like, hey, that person saw it. That's cool. But not
right.
Oh, I'm looking through this shit. Where the Kukui? He didn't like this shit. This is his show. Motherfucker didn't like it. You know. I
hope to God no one out there listening to this does that with their friends. Because
that's what it sounded like this dude does.
No, because the thing is, if you're doing that with your friends, they ain't your friends. Like either because one of two things. They're not your friends if they don't like your shit. Half of it's on you. If you're putting that pressure on them to be your friend only if they like your shit or not, you're doomed. It just that ain't a friend. Like, because true friends don't give a shit. They don't put that kind of pressure on their friends. Like I don't ever post something. When if Columbo gonna look at it, or Brendan gonna comment, or Tippy gonna shoot me a thumbs up? Like if that's your mentality before you even post your shit, you got to reevaluate.
You know, it's funny, Doug. I think about like if I'm looking at, let me see. My brother, I'm looking at my groomsmen. My brother, my brother-in-law, Luis, Nico, Jorge,
Nico Suave,
Chris, Doug, out of my groomsmen from my wedding, which is like there's like 7 of them or 8 of them, whatever, maybe 2 post on a regular basis, and most of them aren't even on social media. So it's funny because I'm like, maybe if all of my like really good friends were on social media and were like little schoolgirls with their posts and shit, maybe I would think a little differently. But I think maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's my age group where my friends and a lot of my friends are paranoid and shit and don't want to be on Facebook and or you know, social media. So that could be it too. I don't know. I don't know.
I was in Hawaii and I was all stoned, right? Whole trip, nothing, just chiefing. Everywhere I went, chiefing, blunt. And I had an epiphany. And my epiphany was
Amber Thiessen?
I did, and it was great.
Yeah.
And with that being said, was I don't care what comes out of people's mouth. And I don't judge them. I don't set expectations for them. I just don't do that based on things that people say anymore. I don't. I judge, if I'm going to judge or form an opinion or an expectation, it's based on actions. Your actions tell me a pattern, like Microsoft Excel, right? And shit, they look for patterns, and your behavior is a pattern. And what you normally do in that pattern tells me most likely what you're going to do the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where my opinions come from, bro. I don't judge people based on what they say. I judge them on what they do. And it's not even necessarily a judgment, but that's the expectation I set. You know what I'm saying? That way I'm never let down.
Yeah. I feel you. No, I do.
You know?
I don't even know really what else I got.
Some quickies.
Rich's huge suitcase, 23andMe, places you never thought you'd be again. What do you got?
Covino's turbulence. It was brought on by that dipshit sharing shit he shouldn't have shared.
What do you mean?
The Covino said that, I guess, and I think some janky shit happened, but I guess in their flight
New York
to Phoenix,
Yankees?
The New York Yankees. That's the New York Chapo Yankees.
Okay.
That's what happened. But no, I guess when they got on their flight from LA to Phoenix, someone got on the intercom and told them that, you know, they weren't going to serve any food or drinks because on the way there was extreme turbulence and something of that nature about expecting badass turbulence. And he said it gave him instant anxiety. And in the end, there wasn't nothing but like 1 or 2 little bumps. And so basically that statement was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that or what?
Yeah, no, I did. My bad. I did, but I know they were saying that the pilot got on the intercom and was like basically telling them, yeah, it was going to be all crazy and shit, and there's hardly nothing. So he scared the shit out of them for nothing.
Right. So was that a ploy just to not have to serve them food? Because
could have been.
They say they were supposed.
I wouldn't put it past anybody these days.
They were supposed to get food and a drink or some bullshit, and then they didn't serve them nothing.
Yeah, and then Doug, and then Preston on the little in-show chat, she was like, you guys had an hour-and-a-half flight and you guys expected food and drinks and shit. And they were like, it's not that we came on here and we expected.
That's
like
what they told us.
They told them that. So they said, hey, this is what you're going to get.
Hold on.
We're flying you out there.
Preston, look me in the eyes right now. The Hazel one, girl, guy, whoever you are.
Girl.
The thing is, I expect them to do what they say they're going to do. And guess what? I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah.
If you, again, but then the next time and you tell me that you're going to serve me all this bullshit, I'm going to call bullshit. Because the last time you used some bunk ass excuse and I didn't get my shit. So I fall for I'm not falling for the okie doke 2 times in a row, Preston. But yeah, they got me the first time. Sorry.
What is it? There's an episode.
What am I supposed to think? You know what? They told us, boom, we're getting food, we're getting drink. They're full of shit.
Yeah. You're supposed to be like pessimistic about it or what? Right?
Yeah, no, you're going to take them at face value. But the next time, that reaction is reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've already been there and you were promised shit and you didn't, right? But I mean, right off the bat, they're saying, hey, we're going to send you there. We're sending you there. Not even first class. We're sending you there. You're going to be sitting next to the pilot. We're going to be,
it's just a little bit less than worst class.
Yeah. And they're now Now you're not getting shit, not getting any drinks. I mean, what if they chose not to buy a sandwich at the airport because they're like $16 sandwich? I'm gonna get my shit comped, right?
Right.
And now they don't have a sandwich. Like, what the? They're hungry.
Well, what about this? I don't like to fly. I really don't. And usually, if I've got a flight, you can catch me at the bar closest to the what you call it. I forgot. I can't think of it right now, but you can catch me to the bar, to the gate, closest to the gate, and I'm getting hammered.
Is it called a tarmac? Tarmac.
It's the gate. The gate. So the bar closest to the gate we're departing from. And yeah, Kevin Gates and Bill at that point. But yeah, I'm getting keyed. I'm trying to get buzzed because I don't like to fly. So maybe I needed that extra one just to chill out a little bit more because dude, you can't come on the intercom with someone that already doesn't like to be there to begin with, and they're doing it because they have to, and then you give them some bullshit like that, and then take away the medicine. That's not right, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's my medicine. When I'm flying, that's what makes it a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
Dicks.
Melody dog is doing some more art. She did another picture of a dog and it was dope. I don't know if you got to see it, but yeah.
She's getting down. There's no doubt.
That was super dope. How much betting do you think there's going to be on the Super Bowl?
Super dope chose.
Out of 5 people, how many people you think are betting on the Super Bowl?
2.
The statistic is 1 out of 5. I think it's higher than that.
I think at least 1.5 because I mean, I went somewhere the other day and it was like a grocery store or some shop or some bullshit. I can't remember where it was. And me and someone are getting squares, and it was like at a retail place, and it was like after buying something.
Yeah.
And it was a small shop. I forgot what it was, but it was free, but they had a prize and you chose squares. And so that's still a form of gambling. If you gain something, if you win, regardless if it costs you anything to enter or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's becoming more and more.
A lady at my work just asked me, like,
norm.
She has to be at least 417 years old. And she just asked me if I wanted to buy squares too.
Hey, Rich would be the star of Hollywood Square.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think there's a lot more than people are thinking.
I think it's more than 1 out of 5, even if it's only a couple decimal points.
Yeah. Doug, I don't really have oh, you know what? I have a quick story. There was a lady, and I don't know how old this story is, but there was a lady that I guess cheated in a marathon. I don't know what kind of marathon it was, but this bitch like was hauling ass, and then she dipped out, jumped on like the subway or some shit, and then came out like a quarter mile to like the finish line and like finished it out. It reminded me.
She cheated.
Yeah, Doug. It was funny because when I was in high school, we used to, when we would go run our quote unquote mile, right? Like every morning or whatever, it was on a canal bank, right? And we all lived in the hood. So everybody's house was right there. They had like a Walgreens right there. They had a Subway right there. So everybody would just dip, like we would take off, and then everybody
shortcut.
You'd go to Johnny's pad, or you'd go to my buddy Chris Elise had a pad. His family lived right here, like literally right off the canal bank. You could like jump into their backyard or whatever, and then you're like, oh, see everybody coming back because they're finishing the mile. Then you just jump back in the line, right? And it was funny because I was like, this bitch who did that, dog, had to be so hood, because that was the kind of shit that we did as kids, to I remember, dog, it was the canal bank, right? So I remember these kids trying to do that, but without going to somebody's pad and kicking it. You know what they did? They crossed the canal bank and came out the other side all wet and shit, smelling like river and shit. So we were like, hey, what the is Ismail and Boomer doing over here? And looking at all smelling like seaweed and shit. And getting
that's gross.
So Doug, we've had people. It wasn't was it the canal bank or was it the river? But we had people almost drowning and shit trying to get across. We were like, oh, just because of something stupid, like there was like a little current or whatever it was. But when I heard this bitch doing that, I was like, she had to have grown up a little bit hood to have done this kind of shit, because nobody in their right mind thinks about this, right? They're like, I'm gonna do the New York City Marathon or whatever, and I'm gonna run it. They're not thinking, I'm gonna cheat.
I'm taking subways, taxis, all kind of bullshit.
Yeah, just, hey, drop me off right there where you see all the people. You grabbing that little cup of water.
Which you know what brings up a question. Technology's cheap. You know what they should do? I'm gonna call it right now. What they should do to all these little marathons, everyone need to get their own personal size small drone, and that motherfucker needs to follow them throughout the whole race.
$90 you can get a cheap one, right?
I mean, and I'm sure if you bought 100 of them, it's even cheaper than that.
Yeah, probably $89 for
you know, put it in the fee, bro. Put it in the entrance fee. Take it home when you're done. Everyone get their own shit. It's gonna follow you to make sure you don't cheat.
Or Doug, or throw an air tag in everybody's shoe. Come on now, there's
somebody to hire me to help them with their rules and plans. That's how you
plenty
don't
of
cheat.
ways.
Snapchat just discontinued their shit. They're probably cheaper than that.
Snapchat discontinued their what?
They had a little drone they came out with about 5 months ago. It was a little Snapchat one, and I guess it followed you around and like it knew, and it just landed in your hand. It was all dope, and you could there were some controls like you could open Snapchat. So I thought about it, bro. I was gonna go to Hawaii, right there where the lava was at, and I wanted to take that thing with me and have it go over the lava, or as close as you can, and come back, and you get footage.
Unless your shit falls into the lava.
Oh well, you got footage, and you watched it die. You got footage of that. You got the death on video.
Yeah, but Doug, let me see. Caring for social media likes, you actually hit that one. Nicole, let me see the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys at all or no?
Fine, hell no.
No, Doug, I wanted to.
That's the whammy. The whammies, like Double Dare. That's just the whammies.
What was I doing on Sunday night, Doug? I don't even remember what I was doing, but I missed them.
I know I wasn't watching that bullshit.
I did catch a couple of highlights from it. I didn't see nothing.
Because everyone's always pissed off, right? Like that's the thing. Why I don't watch the Golden Globes, the Grammy. I don't watch none of that bunk ass shit. Because you know what happens the night of, like TMZ, like right after or during it's happening, they start bitching. Someone's pissed off, or someone's being made to look a fool, or some negative bull. Like if you try to be happy in life and positive in life, like their whole gimmicks now are just like it's all gimmicks. Like Eminem said, who the Nora Jones? Like Eminem has sold millions. He should never have been. And again, we've talked about this. He is not on my iTunes list. He's not on my playlist. So when I say this, it's from a very, very, very unbiased opinion. But just like when people's actions don't lie, the numbers don't lie. And Eminem is one of the greatest artists ever. Period. Any genre. And
genre.
So anyone ever beat him at any level?
Yeah.
Someone f***ed up. I mean, it just is what it is.
You know what I don't get, Doug? I don't get how and I mean, everybody has their own taste of music and shit, and I am nobody to judge. The one thing though I don't get is how the has Beyonce won more Grammys than anybody in the history of life? That's crazy to me, Doug. More than like, I mean,
I don't have a hot take for you. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna say no wild ass shit.
To me, it's just crazy. Like, I know, like her fans, ride hard for her, but I'm like, damn, that's crazy to me. That's something because, Destiny's.
Not everyone feels that way.
Destiny's Child was big, right? And it's just crazy.
I mean, but it wasn't bigger than Beyonce.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that Destiny's Child was big? That shit, and I feel like Beyonce is big. But I'm like, has she really had like that many? Like, I feel like she's like obviously mainstream, obviously, right? But I feel like,
what about some Mary J?
I'm trying to think of like
love.
How many? I don't know if I just feel like a lot of Beyonce shit is more. I don't want to say underground, but I don't know, Doug. I don't feel like she has like Maroon 5, right? Or Ed Sheeran, or what's his name? Sheridan.
I like Brown 3.
Ed Sheeran. Dog, I f***ed up his name. Ed Sheeran or any of them. I feel
like fucking Prince Harry's
Doug, double. They have songs on Justin Bieber. They have songs for every day. And I'm like, Beyonce, I don't feel like she has many, like, I mean, she has that Cuff It and she has, like a lot of shit, but just enough to have like more Grammys than anybody in life. That's where I'm kind of perplexed. Like, for real? Real talk? For real? FR?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. That's something for you to put in your pipe and smoke tonight. You have to show, but later, episode number 167. El Cucuy, do you have anything else for us?
Well, yeah.
Oh, shit. My bad. I was wrapping it up. My bad.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of
All
shit.
right, let's go.
Covino Rich merch, bro. I'm definitely getting some coasters. I think, too, I'm going to put it out there right now. I'm going to buy a Carl hoodie because you know what? I am a Carl. I am a Covino Rich listener. There's no doubt about it. I just can't be associated with the funny bunny ones that are posting stupid shit and being silly on the interwebs. But I am a Carl, so I think I'm getting me a Carl hoodie and I'm gonna rock my shit. And I'm either gonna get a "Get the out of here" t-shirt, or I'm gonna get a Dark Side of the Goon because I'm a goon and sometimes I'm on that dark side. So I think I'm gonna get it. I was gonna get a Spoga one, but after all the revelations of late, that pose kind of scares me. So I'm not getting
I made that shirt, man. You can't. What?
You made that thing post phase 3.
Pre-phase 3.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Pre-phase 3.
There was.
Would you use this? Would you use the same pose now?
Nah.
Knowing what you know, would you make the same design knowing what you know?
Oh, dog. I'm gonna make a new Spoga logo.
You better. That shit needs an update. Hey, life has changed. You got to touch that thing up.
I already know how it's gonna look, dog. I'm gonna send it to you before I even give it to the world. But okay.
And then So and then the other thing, speaking of Spoga, if you were him and you had a free pass, would you not be trying to that Super Bowl weekend when you got a press pass?
I didn't want to bring this up, dog, but
I did.
But
that's why I brought it up.
It
makes me think he's bullshitting about a lot. Again,
yeah.
I don't judge you by the words that come out of your mouth. I judge you by your actions.
Yeah.
Because now he can't lie. They're gonna know if he got ass coming to the room or not.
Yeah. That's where I am. To me, I'm like,
and
it's cool.
And I'm not saying he's lying,
but I'm just saying it's cool to talk a big game, right? It's cool to be the horny dude, right? He's the horny.
You know what?
But now that they're like right there, and he's freer than a something that's
new
free
inmate. Yeah,
freer than a new inmate.
All right.
A newly released inmate.
Yeah, delete that shit.
but what I'm saying is now it's like, oh well, first it was like I don't know. To me, it's very peculiar. That's right.
It is because he was bitching about Arizona State when they brought up that episode where they dared him to do whatever the did and how awkward it was or whatever. But now the role has reversed. You're not fat, chubby, gross spot anymore.
Yeah.
Your tone, right? You don't even have a gender preference at this fuck. You don't even have a gender preference at this point. So all your options just doubled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got Spoga knowledge. You've made candles. Life has went on and he's just became more seasoned. So when you point out when life wasn't necessarily favoring you in these situations, but now it does. And when it does, you're like, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't.
You know what?
And is Kristen at home taking pipe?
You know what it comes down to? At the end of the day.
At the end of the day?
Spot has, he's gotten thinner. Like you said, he's been married. He's and all this shit. But at the end of the day, he's young Mike Tyson. Oh boy. He's just the same little boy he's always been.
Oh boy.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in.
But then why is he fronting? Because he's fronting a lot,
because he gets a lot of attention for it.
Yeah, I know. But
what has the show been revolved around for the last 4 or 5 months?
Him leaving everybody behind on his walks.
What
the is that about, dude?
Somebody texted me and they were like, "Hey,
bro, what is
they're
that?"
Like, I think Spot is on the spectrum, and I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "They're like leaving people behind with this walks and shit," and it does sound very. There's a lot of things, but you know what though? I will admit there's a lot of things that I do where I'm like, I could be on the spectrum as well. So that's why they call it a spectrum, right? It's a whole big old thing. So many variations, right? It's a grand scope of shit. So I feel like
all I'm saying, I don't know about spectrums. All I'm saying is that
their cable
if
and
that's
their
who
internet
you are,
sucks.
that's what you do, that's what you've always done. And you know it's a little peculiar, and that's just being nice. It's weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like, give everyone a heads up, and then it's not weird.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, fuck. Use your heart as an excuse then. Like, you're using it as an excuse now. It's heart health, heart health. Well, use that up front.
Well, they
Hey,
even said you used to do that shit when you were fat as
right, but it's just weird to leave everyone behind.
If you need me, I'm gonna be up there.
Right. I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm just saying it's weird. He could at least just get, especially with people you don't know that well. It's one thing if you're with your homies and you know they know you and that's just spot and you've done it a bunch of times and they've already been accustomed to it. But I don't think you should make your homies have to answer to someone that you're hanging out with that you guys as a group don't hang out with often, and now they got to explain your weird ass behavior. Like, that ain't cool.
Hey, where did your buddy go? Oh, he's way in the there, half a block ahead of us.
He does that spot.
That spot. There's Spotty. You know, Christian.
There he goes again. Gee, I wish you would have told us this time.
Christian.
Oh, Sorgy.
Well, if we don't wrap this up, I'm about to do
nosedive.
Yeah. I need to get going. It's getting late early, as they say. So we have to.
Yeah, it's late. Hey, real quick, last thing.
Yeah.
Within the last 6 months, I noticed I visited the time zone between Arizona and Nevada. How close are you to that break?
I don't know what time it is in Nevada.
Because I visited a place which is a trip, bro, that it was literally a street light. And on one side of the street light, it was 5:30. But as soon as you crossed the light to the other side, which was Arizona, you were roaming off of their towers now, and it was 6:30. And it was a trip because there was a Warrior game coming on, and in the 5:30 time zone, ESPN shows it coming on at 6 p.m. But then when you go to the 6 o'clock time zone and you freak out and think you're going to miss the game where it's already started, you go to ESPN and it says 7 p.m. And literally it's a street light.
Yeah. For me,
that's a trip, right?
Yeah, I guess, but time never changes here. So whatever it adjusts for you guys, that's when I have to with your guys' time.
No, I guess what I'm asking is, are you close enough to the border where that happens?
Yeah.
Where like, because for instance, I was talking to someone after drinking a beer or whatnot, and they were telling me that a lot of times there's a lot of confusion because it's two cities separated by a light, and it's one time zone in Laughlin and a whole different time zone in Bullhead City. And a lot of those people kick it because there's only a light that separates the two, but there's a lot of confusion. Like, Bullhead City time zone's an hour off, so you might be talking, no one thinks about it, they don't look at their watch, and they're always, they're off because it's an hour difference, but it's only a street light.
Yeah, no, I could tell you. So there's from my house, if you want to get into quote unquote California, maybe a 3-minute drive, right? So now it's in Pacific Standard Time.
Right. It's
right.
The 5-6 o'clock.
So if what they'll do is, since they're they know that a lot of people travel back and forth and shit, they'll make it clear. Like, there's a lot of shows that are at this casino that's about 10 minutes from my pad, right? And it's in California. So it'll say, hey, showtime, like there's going to be a concert.
Oh, so you are okay. So you are close like that.
Yeah, because there's a concert that is going to be at this casino next Thursday or Friday, right? And it says showtime is at 7 p.m. Arizona time. So it'll say that even though the concert is in quote unquote California, you're 10 minutes into the state. When you cross that line, your phone changes, your watch changes.
Yeah, no, everything. Absolutely.
Right.
But
it says showtime 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Arizona time. Gates open at 6 p.m. Arizona time. So even we had the band. There's a band called Old Dominion, and if there's any country fans, they're hella famous. Well, they did a show. They did a show. What?
When you said that, and then you're like, if there's any country fans, they're hella famous. And I'm not a country fan, but I have no idea who that is or ever heard of them or nothing.
Well, Old Dominion, they did a show at that casino that I told you. And even the dude he's the lead singer of Old Dominion, his brother used to live here in Yuma. So he's telling the story, and he's like, my brother used to live here, this and this and this. And he knows we're right there in California. But he's telling us because he knows, since his brother's from the area or lived in the area for a number of years, he knows how that works. So definitely, I mean, it's not a street light, but it's definitely you cross over a freeway. There's a picture.
Well, it's the river. There it's the Colorado River.
Well, there's a picture when Covino and Rich were moving to start doing their show in LA. When they crossed, literally at the time, it was probably a minute and a half from my house. Right? They took a picture. If you go to their Instagram, the picture that they have where it's them standing in front of the sign that says "Welcome to California" is like a minute and a half from my old pad.
Oh shit.
So it was.
So does that ever cause you guys confusion? How often does that you up in your plans? Plans that you make with friends, or I do have friends in California in the old times, in the different time zone. And do you guys get confused ever?
I have a lot of friends that live right there over the border on the reservation, because there's a Native American reservation right there. Right. And but they all go off of Arizona time. So even when I was working with some of them and we'd pick them up in the morning to go do a job or something,
it never causes no confusion.
I've never seen it.
Oh shit. Well, that's good.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because because see, you're traveling, right? But you said people from there had the issue. I don't.
Yeah. Well, because it's just crossing the river. So, like if it's just someone that lives on the other side, or, even if you live, let's just say Laughlin, it's more expensive. So it's cheaper to live in Arizona and Bullhead City. And I'm probably assuming that's correct.
Yeah.
So many people that work in Laughlin probably live in Bullhead City. So how many times do they call their husband and say they'll be home at this point, or their girl or whatnot? And they're thinking by just looking at their shit, like not even that they don't know, but it just doesn't click in that moment. You just make the mistake and don't realize the difference. And you look at your Laughlin time, not realizing that home is an hour ahead. I don't know.
No, well, the way I look at it is that for somebody like me, where I understand how the time changes around me, I told you, hey, let's record at this time, right? So right now it's close to midnight my time,
right?
And it's close to 11 your time. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But whenever we're gonna record, I'm like, hey, I'll tell you at your time, so you don't have to figure it out. Like, wait, does this dude mean his time or my time? Because then when daylight savings changes and shit, now wait, he's on my time. Now that, I'll tell you your time.
Right.
Don't about me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how I've always done it. I've never had any issues about you meant,
so you've just calculated whoever you're talking to their time, and that's what you give them.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially and the only
like
time
a solution to me.
Well, because even if we're traveling to I'm gonna go
spit it.
If I'm going to LA or something, I'm like me and my sister went to a show in Irvine. Well, we're like, all right, cool. We're gonna leave at probably 2 our time. I'm like, okay, so it's 1 their time. So we actually gain an hour as soon as we cross the bridge. Cool. Now that helps us out. Then when we're coming back, it was a Sunday or something. So we were like, cool. We don't got to worry about we're going to lose that hour when we're coming back. It's all good. So even when you're traveling this close, and as much as we go to California and shit, you take all that into account on your plans.
I don't, bro. I'm lazy. I just hit the maps and it tells me. Hey, I got the watch, and if my ass didn't catch the phone,
well, when
I'm not paying attention, my watch vibrates, and
Well, see, like we were trying to make a show that day. We left literally right after work, and gates opened at I think 6 o'clock. The doors open,
Bill,
and the doors opened at 6 o'clock, and we got there. Yeah, Jim Morrison, and it was 6:05. We pulled into the place. So yeah, but anyway, after show but later. Your boys D and El Kukui. Find us on all social media at AfterShowBL 928-235-5285. If you're gonna hit us up with any text or anything like that, come show some love. Make sure you share it. You watch it on YouTube. Heads up, and I know I mentioned this on an episode before, but fucking Buttercup. I'm Key made a comment. If you're watching it on YouTube, I've been cutting out some of the language and shit so I can push it to more people, which it has. So it's been working. So he made a comment where he was like, it sounds super choppy if you're cutting out your cuss words and shit or whatever. And that's cool. Just listen to on the audio platforms, because on the audio, Spotify, YouTube, or not Spotify, Apple, Google, all that shit, it's the raw, unedited audio. So you're going to hear us talk normal. If you insist on watching it, just to help our algorithm, we're going to adjust it a little bit. So just keep that in mind.
Or maybe just, I don't know, before you edit it, send him that version. Maybe have another version on our Patreons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll do the unedited version on our Patreon. And
maybe we should get $2 a month, and that's where you can post that shit.
Hey, we'll do. Hey, I wonder if you could do a minimum of like $1 a month, because I would like to do that. Or even I wonder if there's even like a free option, or do it free or $1, whatever the minimum is.
Yeah, whatever.
And throw it on there. That'd be dope. So
yeah, and then that way you could throw the and that way he would just have to realize that if you want to go to YouTube and you like their features and their player and whatnot, that's the edited version. But if you want it raw and uncut, you got to hit the Patreon.
Mm-hmm. If you want it raw and uncut, hooded, after show but later, check us out wherever you stream.
Skin back.
You're gross. After show but later, we'll see you guys in episode number 168. Peace.
Road to the riches, because it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul. Grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens, and come and spend a day in the 757.